That one wife that you have, maintain it too. Maintain it. The people that are hyping you, they won't tell you this part. It's when you enter, you will know. You will know. You are damn. I'm not advocating against polygyny. Okay, if you're not interested, swipe. After all, data is not expensive. But if you are still here, this one get as a bill, but I will still talk anyway. Now, let me give a very quick disclaimer before I proceed. This particular episode, I'm talking about polygyny. Polygyny, the things they don't tell you. And this particular episode is coming from a male perspective addressed to the male gender. If you are going to pick gems from it, fine. Remember that for marriage itself, there is no working template, like a general working template. For every marriage, it has its own peculiarities, challenges, and what have you. I'm talking from what I've observed, what I've seen, and how I feel it should be solved. However, whatever I've said is subjected to refutation. So don't go and swallow it hook, line, and sinker. Most often. The first thing is, in Islam, polygyny is permissible. It is an injunction in the Qur'an. That is Quran 4, verse 3, where Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, marry women of your choice. 2, emphasis is started from 2. 3 or 4 is stopped at 4, which means that everything you do outside these 4, haramunio. But if you fear you will not deal justly with them, then marry one. I hope you get me clearly. Now, this is where most people will sit down. Shebi Allah said that if you cannot be just, so who can be just? Actually, nobody can be just, because in the same surah, Allah also emphasized that Quran 4 verse 129, Allah says, you will never, like ever, be perfectly, emphasis on perfectly now, perfectly just with your wives, even if you strive to do so. I hope that clears your initial argument that Allah said if you be just, because Allah has made every single one of us perfectly imperfect, and we must make mistakes. So the pointer here is that, number one, polygyny is permissible for Muslim men. If I'm not a Muslim man, I don't know what you're doing. And then the question here is, why polygyny? Remember, we have widows, we have divorcees, we have single mothers, and all other kind of women. And if you look at the statistics, you're always more than us. So what Islam is trying to curb is these other women that are not married, if they don't eventually have a partner, what would they do? Aha, I won't say that. Then, talking about being just, the just aspect of it. You cannot be just, though. As a human being, you can never be just. The only thing you can get close to that is similar to justice is equity. Now, equity in what sense? This is wife A, this is wife B. Wife A wants a laptop. Wife B wants a phone. If you want to do justice, you will get wife A phone and a laptop, wife B a phone and a laptop, even though B does not need a laptop, even though A does not need a phone. What should you do? Get wife A the laptop, get wife B the phone. That is equity. Anything outside that, akpare. So, to reiterate my point again, no man born of a woman can have perfect justice, especially when it comes to emotions. But what a man must strive for is fairness in time. Are you sharing your time accordingly between your spouses? Fairness in financial support. Are you taking care of your wife's finances as it should be done? And lastly is fairness in treatment and dignity. Don't disrespect one wife for the other and vice versa. And you all know all these things, so I don't have to tell you that one. Let me go to where I'm going. One thing most people shy away from is the financial stability before polygyny. Sure, but if you don't get money, don't venture into polygyny. Like, if you don't have money. When I'm talking about money, money is money that is getting close to you being liquid. Okay, let me put it in a more simpler term. In a more simpler term, I would say that when you have money to take care of 10 women conveniently, marry the second wife. When you have money to take care of 10 women conveniently, marry the second wife. If you don't, my shook. If you have not gotten to this stage yet and you are at the verge of I don't know if I must now, I don't know if I dualization, I don't know if I this to start general. Think I'm well, think I'm well. The people that are hyping you that mashallah, they won't tell you this part. It's when you enter, you will know. You will know. You are damo, dada. This is because marriage is not just about the emotion. The emotion, my love, all those things. By the time financial struggle creeps in, it will only take the grace of Allah for the emotion not to dissolve totally. Like the emotions, that emotion that led to you going into the marriage, it will only take the grace of Allah for it to be there. Because, one way to make a man look irresponsible is when his financial capability is down. And except you have good women or a good woman, you never understand. Tó bá lọ fẹ́ nǹkan tó fẹ́, tó bá fẹ́ nǹkan tó fẹ́, tó dín pé owó sáfẹ́rẹ́ lọ́wọ́ ẹ̀ báyìí, ojú ẹ máa rí máa bó. You go hear am. So, again, financial stability is very, very important because the moment you embark on polygyny, what you should know is that all your expenses automatically multiplies. Talking about housing, feeding, clothing, and all other general expenses is going to be ×2. And depending on the kind of woman Allah push to you, it will determine, maybe it's going to be ×10 or ×3. So if you don't have, just leave it. Maybe you should go and start fasting or you face your wife, JJ. If you enter, what damo? Ọlọ́run wá dámọ̀. And another part that they don't talk about, that they won't tell you, is talking about the housing arrangement. You see, the best thing you can do for yourself is that your wives are living in the same house. What do I mean? I'm not saying you should go and put 2 wives in one flat. It's going to be from one problem to the other, one ruckus to the other. Don't put them in the same flat. No. They should be in the same house but in separate flats. In that case, what you have done is to ease out avoidable stress. Probably the best option is that they should be in different houses in the same compound. That one is much more better. At least you don't have the case of ogrileti within the house. That is the best one. And the worst case scenario here that you can have is that at least they should be on the same street. And the same street in what sense? You know that from this house to this house is something that you can trek. It will be some kind of exercise for you. But you see the moment where they are within the same location and their distance is far. E.g., I'm in Ilorin, so I'm going to use this as an example. You are staying in Kuntu. Your wife is staying in Eyekorin. The other one is staying in Fate. Showing pe triangle lo fa. The wahala of going up and down, transporting yourself from this place to that place, is going to have a toll on your health, your general well-being as a man. It is an avoidable stress. If you can avoid it, avoid it. So when you are planning that you want to get into this thing, ensure that both wives are staying in the same compound. That is the best thing for you. Because anything outside that, the other option that can seem to work is if they're in different locations. Location in this case, I'm not talking about state, I'm talking about countries. Countries is better because if you use states, it's still stress. But states can still go, but countries is better. Maybe one is in UK, one is in Nigeria. So when you are there, they know you are there. When you are here, they know you are here. But you see that you be shuffling up and down. If you shuffling up and down, it will have toll on your health. And at a point in time, if you are not selfish in this sense is that taking good care of yourself, paying attention to yourself, you just drop down one day and die. So in your own interest, when it comes to house separation, remember I said, option 1, which is the medium option, same building, different flats. Option 2, which I said is the best option, same compound, different houses. Option 3, which I said is the worst case scenario option, different houses, same streets. Anything outside that is stress. So I believe, my brother, that yes, you are brushing up to be a 2-star general. You are brushing up for your dualization. Note, polygyny, yes, is permissible in Islam, but sincerely, it is not for everyone. It is not for the faint-hearted. Most of the people that you see doing polygyny, the moment they know that, okay, yes, you are now in the league, the first thing most of them will ask you is, so how are you able to manage the initial robodinho that happened? That is, it is expected that a particular ruckus would happen when you start that marriage. Is it supposed to be like that? Like, is that like, I don't expect that should be a thing now, but it seems that is one part most of them are hiding. And I'm here telling you for free. That one wife that you have, maintain it too. Maintain it. I'm not advocating against polygyny. I'm just telling you that when you know you're not financially stable enough, when you know you are not emotionally ready for stress, when you know that you won't have the luxury of time, like probably for your job, what brings income for you requires that you pay a lot of attention. The moment you enter polygyny, all of this is going to get thwarted, sincerely. And at some point, you might feel like eloping. At some point, God forbid, you might even feel like ending it. So whatever the case, I'm telling you now, copy and paste. Not everything is worth copying. That your friend is doing well in his polygyny does not mean polygyny is the next thing that you should go for. And this polygyny has caused many strain, many relationships that I know of. So, is it really worth it? Like, is it worth it? Is it really worth it? Well, that question is for you. I know what you are waiting for. I know what you want to hear. That me, because you know that, that how is it for me? Well, this is what I have to say.
Níwájú Ọlọ́run bó bá ní rojọ́, kí ni mo fẹ́ wí, kí ni mo fẹ́ sọ níwájú Olúwa mi o bó bá ní rojọ́. Bàbá ò lè gbà ní, màmá ò lè gbà ní, ẹ̀gbọ́n ò lè gbà ní, àbúrò ò lè gbà ní, kò sẹ́ni tó lè gbà ní, Olúwa ló lè gbà ní. Bàbá ò lè gbà ní, màmá ò lè gbà ní, ọkọ ò lè gbà ní, aya ò lè gbà ní, ọmọ ò lè gbà ní, Olúwa ló lè gbà ní.
With that viewpoint of mine, you understand how it is going. I pray Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala would bless men who take the bold step to enter into polygyny, will provide for them abundantly, financial means abundantly, with wisdom to manage their marriages, to have equity between both wives, either both wives or more wives, either case. And that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will make it as a means for them to attain His mercy on the day of Yawm al-Qiyam. And for those of you who are willing to enter the game, I pray Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will make it easy for you. And most importantly, to the other gender that are involved in polygyny, for those of you who made it easy for your husband during the course of this journey, I pray Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will grant you the reward in the life of this world and in the life of the hereafter. And for those of you who wants to take life out of the innocent man because he's practicing an injunction of the Qur'an, whatever Allah wants to do, he should do with you. Till we meet again another time, remember, the name is Dr. Wanutaj, aka Sagir, aka Alhaji, or Dr. Swipe. Until then, I say Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah wa barakatuh.